Welcome to our very first hands-on improvisation lesson. So, as I've said in previous videos, you probably know a lot more about music than you think you do. And I will make the claim that if you're watching this video, you already have enough under your belt to start improvising today. And that's what we're going to do. So, let's start out with an improvisation, which right now looks like a blank piece of paper. And that's part of the lesson here today. Part of that lesson is the ability to improvise effectively and competently is not about absolute freedom. Like you see here, a blank canvas. In fact, this is a problem. So what we really need to do is constrain ourselves in some way. And so allow me to offer some possible constraints. So the first constraint is, let's pick a tonality. Right, what is tonality? Tonality is things like major, minor, blues, a Middle Eastern tonality, a Japanese tonality, Mixolydian, Dorian tonality, right? So just for the sake of simplicity, for the sake of using something I'm pretty sure we all know, let's just say we're going to pick a major tonality. That's represented by Roman numeral, in caps, Roman numeral 1. So, is this enough to improvise on? Well, maybe, but I contend we need more information. So let's add something else. How about meter? So now we've got to marry a tonality to some sense of repeating time. And so we could pick a few of these, right? But let me just, for simplicity, because it's in such common usage, let's go ahead and play it in 4/4 time. So in other words, there'll be an underlying pulse of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And ask ourselves, is this enough to improvise on? Well, maybe, but stick around and I'm going to suggest that we can do lots better. And it's going to get us closer to the true essence of what makes music really tick. So here we are at the next level of assembly for organizing our tonality, our major tonality, and our 4/4 time into something known as an 8-bar form. Which, by the way, this 8-bar form is it's probably the most commonly used form in classical music, pop music, jazz, and a whole variety of other musics, which we need not go into. But the point is this: now we're starting to organize the tonality and meter into a larger scale structure that integrates them into a cohesive whole. So let's stop there and ask ourselves, is this enough to improvise from? Well, maybe, but I contend that there's another level of musical thinking and comprehension that's going to take our ability to improvise over this form to the whole next level. We're going to go there in 3 or 4 seconds. So now let's put it all together and take our understanding of this 8-bar form to the genius level, super genius level. Right? So let's remind ourselves what we have here. We have a major tonality represented by the 1 chord, tonality. We've got meter, right? A sense of fourness, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, etc. Meter. We've got form, we've got an 8-bar form, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Form. But now we're adding a whole nother element, a whole nother way of thinking about this 8-bar form, and that is the notion of phrasing. And so one way to conceive of this 8-bar form, by the way, it doesn't have to be 4 phrases, but I'm going to suggest this as a starting point, is to conceive of the 8 bars really as 4 2-bar phrases. And so an example of this would be, let's do this. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. Everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. So just store that for a moment. Next thing we're going to do is go to the piano and we're going to put this into practice, and then we're going to go deep into understanding how we can integrate our knowledge of chords and scales with this genius level conception of what form and phrasing is all about. So here we are at the piano. What we're going to do is we're going to improvise over this 8-bar form, over a single tonality, in this case a major tonality in 4/4 time, and we're going to commit to playing 4 phrases over this 8-bar form. So let me suggest this. One, just for simplicity, let's play this in the key of C major. So that's a C major triad. We're going to limit ourselves to the diatonic notes in a C major scale. Diatonic is just a fancy word, of course, for just the notes in the key signature, no accidentals. And also for rhythmic simplicity, let's limit ourselves to playing nothing faster than a quarter note. Ready? Let's go! A simple improvisation. So let's talk about what just happened there. Well, a lot just happened there, and all these lessons, by the way, even for this dirt simple improvisation, apply to everything you're ever going to play, no matter how complicated it is. So what happened? One, notice I played 4 phrases, 4 coherent phrases. Let's sing them, right? Let's find our key again. Phrase 1, do, re, mi, fa, sol. Phrase 2, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, fa, sol. Phrase 3, do, re, mi, fa, sol, which, by the way, was identical to phrase number 1, no accident. And then phrase 4, do, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Almost in the same key. The other thing that went on was there was a rhythmic unity to those phrases, right? So let's just kind of scat them without pitches. Ready? Dot 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 dot. And the other thing that's going on is this. Notice that I was playing chord tones. Right? 1, 3, 5, and 1. Do, mi, so, do. I was playing those exclusively on the strong beats. The strong beats in a 4/4 time, by the way, are the 1 and the 3. So let's play and count. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In order to illustrate how critically important this point is about the relationship of playing the chord tones of the prevailing harmony on strong beats, let me intentionally shift that whole melody down a step in the scale and see what happens. And what do you notice? You notion makes no musical sense. Got it? We're still not done because we haven't yet talked about what's the deal with those in-between notes. In other words, the notes that are not an explicit part of the prevailing chord. Well, I'm going to tell you, we did two things with those in-between notes. One, notice I played them all on weak beats. In other words, on beats 2 and 4. And also notice that I did two things with them. We'll talk about the function. The function of those in-between notes was one of two things: to connect one chord tone to another chord tone, or to create a temporary melodic and harmonic excursion away from a chord tone and back again. So let's go to the piano and see what that looks like in practice. Chord tones with turtles, in-between notes with pebbles. Notice we never played B, so we can throw that one out. Let's do the rhythm first, strong beats and weak beats. And notice when the chord tones and when the in-between notes are played. Strong, weak, strong, strong, weak, strong, strong, weak, strong, weak, strong, weak, strong, strong, weak, strong, strong, weak, strong, strong, weak, strong, weak, strong, weak, strong. Now let's look at it from the perspective of chord tones and in-between tones. Chord between chord, chord between chord, chord between chord between chord between chord, chord between chord, chord between chord, chord between chord between chord between chord. So I'd like to close this video out with a few general comments. First of all, I hope we took a huge step forward. In fact, not a step forward, a quantum leap forward in our understanding of how melodies, scales, and harmonies conspire to create music, right? And not just that, to see that a melody is more than just a linear construct of notes called a scale. No, it has to do with form, it has to do with phrasing, it has to do with rhythmic coherence, it has to do with placement of pitches on strong beats and weak beats. It's about tension, resolution, connection, embellishment. Right? And actually there's a bunch of other stuff we have not yet talked about, but we will in future videos. But that said, please don't stop here. Don't just watch these videos. What I want you to do, of course, is take what you know about music and start messing around. Try this, of course, in the key of C. Try it in other keys. Try it in different tonalities. Try it in minor. Try blues, mixolydian, Dorian, whatever. Got it? And pay attention when you do these things. This is not just about a mental conception. This is about marrying the way we think about the music with the way we hear and experience the music, right? And more than anything, what I hope you came away with is a profound understanding of how music works. This is going to apply to every kind of music you make, in any genre, in any style, no matter how complicated it gets, right? So, run with this, experiment, and stay tuned for more. It's going to be fun, I promise.